This is tutorial number 10 or part 10 of our training series. Let's work on the roughness. So for the roughness, if you downloaded PBR materials, you can just find the roughness map. Find for the roughness map for this one here, which should be roughness 29 roughness, this here. And in our group node, I can just we also need to expose these scratches, a scratch map here, so that we can easily switch them out for other scratch maps if we want to. Yeah, I want to create another color input. So let's see, and I want that to be fed to our roughness. So let me first create a roughness output roughness. Yeah, and the roughness. Actually, you don't want to do that because it's going to be hard to convert this into a color input. So for that, let's just add. You can just drag. Just add color. It's actually under color. Just mix RGB, then drag the color input into a new node like that. I don't want this to be actually connected to that, so something like that. This is going to be our roughness map, so just call this roughness map. This color too is going to be our roughness map, and then this is going to be how much roughness we want. So, and this would be fed directly into, expand his, into the roughness output. So this would be fed directly into the roughness output, roughness map should go directly into our roughness, and then now our roughness from this node can go directly into our roughness for this output. Okay. Now I can just connect this roughness image. I have make sure that I change this to non-color data. If I connect this to the roughness map, I should start to see it affect the roughness of our shader. Yeah, so you can see, if you look closely, you can even see it starting to affect the roughness. But we want to have this control how rough this map affects this, how much roughness this roughness map affects our shader. So to do that, we can tab back into this node and find our roughness map output. So it's this here. We can add a convert math node, and make sure you can leave the operation to add, and then we can get this roughness input we had and connect that directly to our, no longer this need that, we can connect this roughness directly to this. That way we can control the roughness directly outside our node group. So now if I play around with this slider, you can see I can change how rough our object is, our shader is. Can be very reflective, can also be not super reflective. And I also want some of those details to come through in our bumps. So let me create a new bump output. Call this bumps. bump map. And for that, I think we are going to just copy this entire node group, cut, and paste it here. Seems I'm not able. Let me just tab back, undo. I want to bring back my bump map setup, but Blender is very slow at undoing things, so I don't know. Okay, so for the bump map, we're just going to connect this directly into our normal map, and I think for that we need to first go under vector, have add a bump. I think I'm just going to set this as the bump strength, but we don't have a normal output for that, so let's see. Actually, this should be on the outside. So this is going to be our bump map. So I can add these scratches here. Yeah, I'm torn between just leaving this on the outside instead of just having it in the inside. So let me just do what we had before. So add this connected to that. This bump map would just these scratches would go under the height here. Just want to kind of mix the two scratches we had with the hard edges. So if I preview this here, multiply, just set this to multiply. I think this is supposed to be inverted, so color invert. Yeah, I think this is what we had before, and that was fed into our displacement. Sorry, our height, not our distance, not the distance, to have this. So the reason I was doing this was to capture some of the roughness from what we have here. So what I'm going to do is just add tab back from the roughness here. I think I can add a color. Let me see. You might as well just use this here and just get the roughness directly and plug it and blend it with the with this here, so that we have something like let's see here. Yeah, something like this. Now just use this factor to reduce how much strength this has. So let's try 0.02. Something like that. change and play with the roughness again to make it more shiny or less shiny, like that. And again, you can switch this wood out to just have it as color. So instead of feeding this into the color, into color 1, I think I can just, I need to rename these from color 1 to color 2 to make it easy to understand. So if I go to the outputs here, where we have color 1 and color 2, so this should be texture, and then color 2 should be paint, if you want it to be like that. So instead of this, where is, yeah, instead of having this into the paint, we can have it as the texture. And then we can have paint here. Just have something like that. Yeah. And can also change the dot color. You can see how things are getting more and more interesting. Yeah, in the next part, we can start transferring this shader onto other shaders onto other objects. But first, before we end this, let's first expose. Let me just get rid of these. Let me first expose our these scratches, and then this cavity map. So yeah. So the first thing we want to do is feed this cavity map. Sorry, this cavity factor input. Just call this cavity map. Then, and I can just first get rid of that. And then we also have this scratch map. So I'll just call this, just feed this into a new, create a new factor. Call this cavity scratches. Sorry, scratches. So this is scratches map. Let's see. Okay, so they're being represented as sliders. What I want them to be is to look like this color input here. So what I'm going to do is first remove them and just add a color, mix RGB, and use this to create those factors, those inputs, the inputs we want. I think we need about 3. Now we can get rid of this cavity map. So color 1 is going to be the cavity map, and then also this scratches map. So this cavity map I would feed directly into this. Then this scratch map should be color 2, sorry, color 1. So let me scratch map. It can be confusing, but when you start grasping it, you can see how easily it is to set up these things. And this is going to be, I don't know, larger scratches. Large scratches, that's what I'll call it. It should take up that factor. Now if we tab out, I just need to delete some of the extra nodes we are not using. So everything is going to look messed up until we feed in the different nodes we are using. So the first thing we want to feed in is our cavity map. So let me navigate to that. Table cavity map, furniture cavity map is this. If I feed that in, you should start seeing things getting back together. Then you can feed in our scratches. Okay. And then we can feed in the other small scratches. Yeah, so this is what we have, but the scale is a bit off right now, so just need to Control Tab to bring back my texture coordinates and change those to reflect what we had. Same with this. Something like that. Yeah, things look a bit different. Let me see what's going on. So this, I think our scale is still a bit off, so from what we had before, but I guess that's okay because we're still getting the results we want here. So this doesn't work. Let me just preview, go back, see, make sure everything works as expected. Okay. This would be a nice value to expose, so I can just drag that and expose that as well. I just call this exposure 1 1 1 amount. Not sure if that's the right spelling, but I'll just go with that. Yes, so now I can just grab this, control how much, and I can also go back to the noise here. I don't think this value shouldn't be exposed. It's creating quite a few issues, so I think it's Yeah, I'm not sure what value it is, but anyway, we're going to end this part here. Then we can continue with other areas.